Yesterday, it was announced that in the 24-25 NHL season, Fanatics would be taking over from Adidas as the NHL's on-ice uniform outfitter. Today, I give my thoughts on the move, the good, the bad, and we'll wait and see on this episode of Locked On Hurricanes.
You're Locked On Hurricanes, your daily podcast on the Carolina Hurricanes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hey there, Caniacs. I'm your host, Jared Ellis, and you're listening to Locked On Hurricanes on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And as always, thank you for making Locked On Hurricanes your first listen of this Wednesday afternoon. And this episode is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook, official sportsbook of Locked On. Make every moment more. Visit FanDuel.com/Locked On today to get started. Now, folks, yesterday it was announced that the NHL is going to have a new jersey outfitter beginning in 24-25. Adidas is wanting to get out of the hockey jersey game, and it's business. It's fine, whatever. But it was announced that Fanatics would be the one that would be taking it over, not Nike, not Reebok, not the NHL convincing Adidas to stay in, not CCM or anyone. It was going to be Fanatics. And the reaction online to this has been, with the exception of a couple folks here and there, almost universally negative. I personally am not a fan of it. I do not like the move. I think that Fanatics is becoming a sports merchandise monopoly. I don't think that's a good thing. And, it was one thing to have them as a secondary option, but now as the only option, I don't like that. And they're saying they're at least starting out, they're going to use the same facility that Adidas has been using to make them, and some of the same people and all that. And they say it's not going to be, you're not going to be able to tell the difference, in the on-ice jerseys. But we've all had bad experiences with Fanatics, whether it be misspelling, a misprint, poor quality, or whatever. We've all had issues with them, and it's a decision that I think could very well blow up in the NHL's face, because this isn't a 1, 2, even 3-year deal. This is 10 years that they're going to be locked into this deal with Fanatics. Now, so it'll be up in the 2034-2035 season. Okay, it is going to be a long time that we'll be dealing with this stuff. And I personally really have a feeling that the first couple seasons especially are going to be rough. I'd like to think that the NHL, in the negotiating and whatnot for this, that the NHL kind of, laid down the law and like, look, if we're going to do this, you need to really up your quality control in terms of, well, all of it, but the jerseys especially. Now, hoping the NHL does something right is a long shot, because 9 times out of 10, they don't. But the way I see this is that this affects how they look on the ice. This isn't a PR issue, like how they have a lot of. And I could see them caring about that. It's also the NHL, so it wouldn't surprise me if they didn't care at all. But especially in this first couple seasons, I'm expecting to have some rough go of it. Especially when it comes to the fan merchandise. I could see them really putting all of their effort into making sure the players look good, and their stuff is right. But as far as the stuff that I would buy, you would buy, parents would buy, whoever, whatever. It'd be more of the same. And I'm not looking forward to this. I think maybe as the deal went on, maybe things get better. But again, this is not something I have high hopes for. But we're gonna have to wait and see on this one. And another thing I don't like is how they have all their eggs in one basket when it comes to the jerseys and merchandise. Outside of team exclusive shirts, like the Carolina Pro Shop, shirts that you can only get there rather than there and Fanatics. Outside of that, team specific kind of things like that, it's gonna be it. Other than fan made stuff on like Etsy or something like that, it's gonna be in. And a lot of folks like the official stuff, and they may not want to go for something that Sally made at home. I personally don't have a problem with that. I think frankly a lot of those designs tend to be better than the official ones, and that's another criticism with Fanatics is sometimes their designs are lackluster to say the least, and I think that they're really going to have to step their game up if they're wanting this to go well, if they're wanting after this deal is up for the NHL to renew, if they're going to want to entice other leagues to jump on board with it. It's gonna be I really think it's kind of a make or break deal for Fanatics when it comes to being a giant in sports sports products and merchandise and whatnot. I think it's going to be a big deal, and if it goes bad, it's going to make Fanatics look bad. It's going to make NHL look bad. Everyone involved. It's going to make them look bad, and because it's already making them look bad. But I do have a lot more thoughts on this move and ways it could potentially go well, ways it could potentially go bad, and we will dive into that right after this quick break, folks. Now, folks, the NHL, they're gearing up for the playoffs. We're right down the road, and the light is at the end of the tunnel for the regular season. And if you're wanting to place a bet on any of the upcoming Hurricanes games, they got another game against the Rangers coming up later in the week. Go do so at FanDuel.com, because not only do we still have hockey going on, we have the NCAA tournament going on right now. And you're in North Carolina, you know how big of a deal college basketball is. And again, the tournament is heating up right now, and now is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's bonus bets back if your first bet doesn't win. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. It's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Then you can bet on everything from the money line to point scores and threes drained. And maybe you want to bet on if Sebastian Aho can get another hat trick on the year. He got another one the other night. And plus, FanDuel even lets you combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with same game parlay. So don't miss the chance to get your no sweat first bet up to $1,000 in bonus bets when you go to FanDuel.com/locked on. That's FanDuel.com/locked on to learn more. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Now, diving back into the Fanatics. This is, again, as I was saying before the break, I feel that this can be a make or break thing for Fanatics. And because if this goes well, I could see, some other leagues kind of be like, oh, well, I'll be, hey, that actually went well. And, they could entice other leagues to get on board with it. I don't think that would be a good thing. And, but if this goes bad, which to be honest, I think a lot of people are not expecting it to go well, especially in the first couple of years. I think that the NHL, they're going to probably look for ways to get out. I think, some of the other leagues, like Formula One, MLS, and some of these other people that are involved with Fanatics, they're kind of like, ooh, they start looking for ways to get out. And it can really, really hurt them. And I don't want them to go out of business, but because people lose jobs. But it's also one of those things like they've got to up the quality control in this, and I think that that's really the biggest thing that I've seen. Yeah, there's always going to be bad designs. Given Fanatics are pretty bad. You guys that are on Twitter, you guys kind of see the memes that go around with bad Hurricanes merchandise from Fanatics. We all see it, and it's bad. Given not every merch idea is going to be a slam dunk home run, but I think that they're really, rather than like, oh, just approve everything. They're really going to be like, oh, is that reverse retro hat with that zigzag down the middle? Is that really something we're gonna want to put out? Is that really gonna be something that someone buys? No. And I think they really need to crack down on their designs because it's really bad. And I think, quality control is the biggest thing. And I know people, it feels like all the time, people are going to find something to complain about. Adidas wasn't hockey enough, or Nike, wasn't hockey enough. They weren't CCM, or prices were too high, and whatever. And that's why I did like Fanatics as a secondary option, because some of those like Adidas ones, they can get really expensive. Like the anniversary jersey, I'm still wanting to get after number, name, the anniversary patch gets put on. It was going to be over $300, and that's without shipping. I was going to go to the eye to pick it up, and that's just tax, and then the price of that stuff. So I get it, as a secondary option, for folks that can't afford to drop 200 plus, on a jersey. It was a good secondary option, and I feel that now with them being the sole provider, that worries me. Kind of what they're going to do price wise. Yes, of course, the authentic on ice ones, those are going to be more expensive, obviously. We all know that, and I think we're all prepared for that. Again, Adidas is that way now. They're on ice, official stuff. That's more expensive than the Fanatic breakaways. But I feel, that Fanatics are like, oh, we're the only ones that make these now. We're going to raise the price of the breakaways as well. And, there's not going to be another option for folks to go to. And that worries me because, again, also t-shirts. You can't go get an Adidas t-shirt or anything like that. Or you can't afford to get this Adidas one. Okay, but maybe you can afford this Fanatics one. Or whatever. There's not going to be a real second option. I mentioned earlier, you have like Carolina Pro Shop, some ones there. But as like a real competitor, it's not really anything. And I really expect, because Fanatics already runs a few team stores. I know they have I'm not sure if they run the eye, but I know they have a heavy presence in the eye. I know they run the NHL store in Manhattan and a few other team stores. But I imagine, with this, we could see that starting to expand as well, and them kind of running more team stores. And over the course of this deal, maybe they're running all 32. It's not something that would surprise me if they do. And I just feel like this is gonna be rough as far as quality goes, because that has been the biggest complaint I have seen, is it's a quality issue, because Fanatics, they don't have good quality control. and then it's going to be a monopoly on hockey stuff. And if this goes well, I can see it expanding, into them taking over, other league stuff. Everyone already sells on Fanatics, but do they start doing more with them? Do they have more of a presence with the MLB, with the NBA, with the NFL? It's something I do think is something that could go, that something that could happen, and this is really, it's going to be something to watch. And not that Nike would have been the best one, because then they got all big four sports. Because they already got the NFL, NBA, MLB. If they added the NHL, okay, they're yet another one. It's kind of a lose-lose situation with that. But I, I don't know how. I don't like this Fanatics move. I think it's going to be rough. But there could be some good here. There could be, and we'll talk about the could of what could come out of this Fanatics deal right after this quick break, folks. Now, folks, a lot of folks, looking for new jobs, around this time of the year, and if you're trying to help find employees for you, Indeed is here to help you out with that. Because no matter how the last game went, anytime you take the field, you've got a shot with greatness. So give your team the best shot at winning by recruiting more MVPs with Indeed. If you're hiring, you need Indeed, because Indeed is the hiring partner where you can attract, interview, and hire all in one place. And Indeed is the only job site where you're guaranteed to find quality applications that meet your must-have requirements, or else you don't pay. Instead of spending hours on multiple job sites hoping to find candidates with the right skills, you need one powerful hiring partner that can help you do it all. Indeed partners with you on every step of the hiring process. Find great talent through time-saving tools like Indeed Instant Match assessments and virtual interviews. I've used Indeed in the past. I've taken those assessments in the past, and they really helped me, through the interview process of that stuff. With Instant Match, as soon as you sponsor a post, you get a short list of quality candidates with resumes on Indeed to match your job description, and you can invite them to apply right away. Plus, you only pay for quality applications to meet your must-have requirements. Now, you need to start hiring right now, folks. Again, folks looking for jobs. So starting right now with a $75 sponsored job credit to upgrade your job post, head to Indeed.com/locked-on. Offer is valid through March 31st. So go to Indeed.com/locked-on to claim your $75 credit before March 31st. Indeed.com/locked-on. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Now, the Fanatics. It's been a lot of negative, and I want to end on a positive note with this, okay? And I'm going to try really hard with this to end on a positive note, because you guys know my feelings, on this. And I think that, for it to go well, if this goes well, if, if it goes well, I think, one of the biggest things is we see it up in the quality of their products. And, I'm not saying that all of their products are bad. I personally have had some bad experiences of some poor quality, but the majority of the stuff I've ordered from Fanatics has been fine. I haven't had too many issues with it, with occasional like shrinkage on a shirt, but really I've only had like a couple like really big issues. But I think, with this, they're getting into this is a big deal for them. And, again, they already, do something with pretty much every league out there in some form or fashion. But this is big for them. And I think, we're hoping, the NHL does something right. I do hope that the NHL has seeing, their quality issues, and they're like, we do this, you need to step up your quality control. And like I mentioned at the top of the episode, they are going to be using, at least for those first few seasons, the same facility and same folks that Adidas was using. So that could work out. It could. And again, this is still a ways off. It's not going to start till the 24-25 season. So we still got a ways for that. We still got to get through the remainder of the 22-23 season and the 23-24 season before this takes into effect. So Fanatics does have, and the NHL has time to get the correct things in place, the correct people in place to make this work. They got time, and I'm hoping they're able to get it done, because again, I think that with this, we could see an up in their quality of their products. I do think that is a possibility here. I'm not saying it's a strong possibility. I'm not saying it's a small possibility. I'm just saying it's a possibility that we could see an up in their quality because of what they're going to be doing. They're going to be an official uniform provider for a professional sports league. And I think they're going to have to, at least in the jersey department, they're going to have to. And I think that is going to be a win-win for a lot of folks. I think that'd be a win for Fanatics. I think that'd be a win for the NHL, because it makes the NHL look smart. They're the first ones to really do this and become like a Fanatics is their jersey provider. It would make them look smart. It could, again, like I mentioned earlier, it could turn heads for some of the other leagues. Like, when our deal is up, maybe we should do that. I could see that being the case if it goes well. And then, so many other things are going to have ups in quality. T-shirts, an issue I had was, one wash from a T-shirt, everything just started like flaking off. Never had that issue with any Fanatic shirt in the past. It's just a random one. And then, obviously, customer service wasn't great with it. But I could see them having to really up their quality on their products. Probably get better customer service, because they're going to be the only one. Given they're also going to be the only one that could be like, we're good for 10 years. It don't matter. But I do think the biggest positive I could think of is an up in quality for Fanatics products, and I think that'd be a win-win for everyone. An up in quality, and then I'd like to think that they would try to keep some of their prices down, because quite often they do have some good sales, on their website. They have one, I didn't buy anything, but one the other day has a pretty good sale, and stuff. And I'd like to think that can help people out, because times are tough right now, and not everyone can afford to spend $300+ on an Adidas 25th anniversary jersey. So it can help people out, that want a jersey or a hat or something, because Fanatics, to all their quality issues, they do have good prices on stuff. But again, with them being the only fish in the pond, they can kind of do whatever they want in regards to that. So it's really going to have to be something we wait and see. They did, the Fanatics, I believe, CEO did an interview with ESPN. It was very, very long. But if you have time, go read that if that's something that interests you. But this is going to be a deal that has not gone over well. I think it's going to continue, and people not being a fan of it. But at the end of the day, it's going to happen. There's not really a whole lot we can do at this point. We know the NHL isn't going to back out of it. So just going to have to wait and see how this goes and hope for the best. Again, they got time to really get things in place, get the right folks in place to make sure, the jerseys are going to be done right. at least for the players. But we'll see how it goes for us. But they got time, and we're just gonna have to wait and see how it goes. Like I say all the time, when it comes to like game previews and all that stuff, you just gotta wait and see, hope for the best. But obviously, folks, internet is back up. We're gonna have a lot of content coming at you over the next couple of days. Recaps of the Hurricanes weekend, against the Leafs and the Flyers. Recap of their game against the Rangers. Playoff outlook. A lot of stuff coming at you, and I will talk to you guys in the next episode of Locked On Hurricanes. So make sure you're following the show on Twitter at LO_Hurricanes. Myself on Twitter at JaredEllis_96. Subscribe on YouTube, and I will talk to you guys in the next episode. And as always, let's go Canes, and let's hope for the best with this Fanatics deal.